Hey y'all, happy Saturday. Some of y'all I'm gonna talk to later because you know we got Bible study later today. But a lot of y'all I want to talk to right now. I know we haven't had a crown chat, especially out in the open, in so long, but it's about that time. And today is that day. We're gonna get it done today. This is a rare opportunity to have a Saturday crown chat. That's something that has never happened when we were even having them on the regular. You know, that was during the week, never on the weekend. But we're gonna have one today. I want to talk. Y'all, I feel like I need to talk because I know for a fact that y'all know I've been through a lot of stuff here recently, in the last few months, and I know a lot of you have too. So we need to talk about how we processing some of this stuff. Can't wait to get into it. Let me greet everybody. It's not that many of us in here, which is cool. Actually, y'all know I like it like that, quiet as kept. But I appreciate and welcome everybody. If you're watching on replay, please hit the thumbs up as well. Y'all in the chat, please hit the thumbs up. Let me greet everybody so we can start talking. Jackie Gaines, what's up, boo? All right, Kia Coco Pop, hello, gorgeous. Don't worry, it's coming this morning. It's coming. Hey, Bianca Edwards, how you doing? Alita, hello, beautiful. Miss Sparkle, how you doing, lovely? This is our Mary Kay lady. Don't y'all forget it. Don't y'all forget it. How is everyone doing this morning? Hope you're having a great Saturday. My sis, Egypt Nile, is in the building. So happy to see you. We got CC Miller, the beautiful CC Miller. She's walking her grandpuppy and listening. I know that's right. I love it. I love it. Deandra O'Neill, how you doing? Good to see you. All right, Lala. Hey, boo. We missed you too. But a little birdie said you was on your honeymoon, honey. So I'm glad you were enjoying yourself. Queen of Hearts KS, happy Saturday. Good to see you. Quiet Storm 87, what's up, lady? Good to see you, Ashley. How you doing? How you doing? DV, hey, boo. All right, Glennis is in the chat. All right. Look, we winning. We winning. Uh-oh, Dana Cutler is here, Miss Steelers Nation herself. All right, all right. That's what I'm talking about. So listen, I'm sure y'all saw the title, or I hope you did. So we're talking about today the other side of grief. Listen, there's more than one side to this grieving thing. And unfortunately, I'm learning as I go, like everybody else. Like there's no handbook for this thing. But oh, you got to attend an event, so you can't come to Bible study today. I'll send you your notes. I'll send you your notes. Oh, and before I get into stuff too heavy, just so you know, y'all, the royal family's made it to Amazon. Our royal family values, our dream journals are available on Amazon, as well as our Bible study notes. So if you're someone that, for whatever reason, you could never attend Bible study, you missed all the Bible studies, you just didn't have time, you forgot, you lost a bunch of your notes, never fear. All of our Bible study notes from August of last year through August of this year are available on Amazon. The link is on the community tab. I'm going to make sure I put it on the description of this video as well. Y'all know I be forgetting stuff. Forgive me. Please forgive me. Okay. Let me make sure I add it to the chat. But yeah, if you missed anything and you weren't able to attend, you lost notes, all that stuff is there, as well as for the ladies who um, don't have your own dream journal as of yet, and you know that you want to. What is going on with this phone? Okay. And you know that you want to be able to have a dream journal, write down what you're seeing before you forget it, because y'all know that's one of the biggest problems with dreams. We tend to forget what we saw. We tend to forget what we saw. So with that being said, if that's the case, please, please, please make sure that you go onto Amazon and grab your dream journals. It's really important. Make sure you have it. Anything that we can do to assist in that, please let us know. Okay? Please let us know. All right. So I hope y'all don't mind if I take a minute or two, because I'm going to. I don't mean to, but I'm going to. All right. I want to make sure that we have everything available. If you want to have it, I want you to be able to have it. All right. So I just put the link for the Bible study notes in the chat. If you need it, grab it. Hey, Queen Mermaid, there she goes. Isn't she lovely? You made it. You made it. All right. So go ahead and grab those there. And the link for the dream journals are in the description of the video. So let's talk. Let's talk. So this grieving of a thing, right? Let's just start by saying, number one, ain't no right way to do it. There's no right way to grieve. There's no wrong way to grieve. Grieving is one of those things that it's like the air, it's like the water. It's going to happen. There's nothing you can do about it except find a way to not be self-destructive while you're going through it. Like that's the most that you can do for yourself, is try not to be destructive to yourself while you're going through this process. So now, if we're going to really examine it, let's examine it, right? Death is not the only thing that you can grieve over. Right? There's no time limit. No time limit at all. And the thing is, again, death is not the only thing you can grieve over. I have grieved over the loss of people, you know what I mean? Like they end up in prison for life. There's a little bit of a grief there. You know, you go through a grieving process, because even though you might be able to write a letter or take a call here and there, you know that the nature of that relationship has changed. You can grieve over you making a choice to change the nature of a relationship. It happens all the time. You can love people, and when you see that they don't mean you any good, or you see that they're just toxic as hell, and it's like, hey, I love you, I enjoy being around you, but I see that you're not good for me. When you have to cut that person out, you can grieve that. Hell, I grieve over the loss of my figure every day. I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh God, it hurts so bad. You grieve over many, many different things. Many different things. So anything can cause a feeling of grief. You can grieve over your current circumstances, and you might, long to go back to a situation when life was better, or what you perceive to be better, simpler, all of those things. That's real. Hey, Ashley. You say, I grieved for 3 years from losing my best friend over drugs. It happens. I'm telling you. That's what I'm saying. This is real stuff. This is real stuff. That's why I say, like, you got to be able to vocalize certain things. You got to be able to get it out, talk about it in a safe space. And yes, you can grieve every time you got to pay a bill, because you're like, Lord, now I remember when my money was my money. And now I make my money and I have to give it to these people named Bill. And so, yes, that is a very real grief. Like we can laugh about it, but it's real. It's real. So, y'all know where your royal family emojis are. Grab your notebooks. Grab your notebooks out of your royal family emojis, dust them off, and let's get ready to get it cracking. Yes. And you know what? That one can be a good grief and a bad grief. Yeah, good grief. That's right, Dana. I grieve over my daughters being grown women and not my little girls. We do as mothers. It's normal. It is normal. So the first thing we got to do is stop looking at grief as this negative thing, as this boogeyman that's in the corner. We got to be willing to just see it for what it is. It is a fact of life. It's a part of life. It's something we cannot avoid. It can never be avoided. It can only be managed, right? But when we start talking about the big ones, life and death, health, um, major financial losses, all that stuff. What are some of the expected feelings associated with grief? Right, Dana. It's part of a natural process. So I want to see in the chat. Y'all know crown chats are interactive. Y'all be wanting crown chats. We here now. So now I need y'all to be interactive. Put in the chat. What are some of the expected emotions or feelings that are associated with grief? Because I ain't gonna give you all of it. I want y'all to give me some of it. Some of it. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna sit here and eat Cheez-Its and drink grape juice till y'all do. Denial. Yep. Sadness. Anger. That's a good one. Big one too. Sorrow, for sure. But what are some that you expect to be associated with grief? Loneliness. Yes. Hurt. Withdrawal. Irritation. Frustration. Ooh, regret is a huge one. That is huge. Acceptance is the last step. That's what they claim, but I'm here to tell you that ain't exactly true. Uncertainty, yes, that uncertainty can give you all kind of insecurities that will follow you for like life if you're not careful. Depression, for sure. Fear, real talk, real talk. So that grief is a son of a gun. And all of those things are valid. They are real. And they're so real that you feel like you can almost reach out and touch them. It is a very real thing. Yes, girl. Baby, that resentment, that jealousy. Yes, sir. Baby, let me tell you, I went through that with mommy. It hasn't been that bad. But when my father left, when my father went on to glory, I felt a lot of that. It wasn't just regular jealousy, it was angry jealousy. It was resentful, bitter jealousy. It was like you sitting over there with your daddy and I ain't got one. That thing made me so mad. Oh my God. It is an emotional roller coaster because, okay, so like, let's look at what you just said. But yeah, Kia, I'm with you on that. When I went through it, I had an acquaintance who kept bad mouthing his daddy, and he was talking about, oh, he's a crackhead, he's this and that. And I lashed out before I knew it. I said, but you can still walk over there and you can lay eyes on and touch that crackhead. I can't touch my daddy. Like I got so mad I couldn't talk to him no more. Like it was really out of control. So these things can really get away from us, right? And Lala said a mouthful right here. It's an emotional roller coaster. So the thing is, why do you think that is? If it was all bad, would it be a roller coaster? Tell me what you think. If all of the feelings associated with grief were bad, would it be a roller coaster? Yes, no, maybe. Put one for yes. If they were all bad, would it be a roller coaster? Put two for no. One for yes, two for no. Dana, my family too. There you go. If it was all bad, there's no way it would be a roller coaster. It's a roller coaster because there's more than just bad associated with grieving. And I think that we need to zero in on all the ways that grieving actually has positive attributes. There's positive and negative associated with grieving. It is not all negative. There are some positive things associated with grieving. That's what I want to get into. The negative, I feel like we all got a handle on that. We all got a handle on the negative side of grieving. We don't have a handle on the positive side of grieving or what to do about it or what comes later. So that's why I said, like when Sis said, they say acceptance is the last step, it's a lie. I'm just going to flat out say it. I know they're scholars. They're supposed to be smarter than me or whatever, yada, yada, yada. The truth of the matter is acceptance is not the last step. Reason number one, there is no last step. This is an ongoing process. As long as you can remember the thing, situation, circumstance, or person that you're grieving over, there will never, ever be a last step. Let me just go out on a limb and tell you that. There will never be a last step. Even if you get to the point where you accept it, there's still going to be flickers and moments that come up later where you're going, hey, Queen Me, where you're going to feel like, what's up, Bedside BK? You're going to feel like, I still want my mama, or I still wish my friend was here, or I still wish I could call you. Okay, how many of you all have lost someone or you disassociated with someone for whatever reason? Whether death separated you, circumstances separated you, regardless. How many of you all have had those moments where you're like, you forget for a minute that you can no longer pick up that phone and just call that person? It's like your first instinct when certain things happen, oh, let me call so-and-so. And then it hits you. It hits you like, dang, I can't call them. So that's why I say acceptance can never be the last step. If y'all have ever experienced that, you know what I'm talking about. Acceptance can never be the last step because there is no last step. Even if you accept it, keep living. It's going to come back. Lala said exactly. Grieving is like the law of energy. It's neither lost nor destroyed. There's only a transference. Grief is transitional. Bingo. You've been through that, right? Okay, so dig this. It's energy. That's exactly where I'm going with this. This is energy. Grief actually, right, what you just said, still grieving over her parents 40 years later. There is no final step of acceptance. And the other reason I say there's no final step of acceptance is because there are steps that come after that. Once you accept what's happened to you, you accept the loss of whatever it is, person, situation, circumstance, whatever, items. There's still something that comes after that. Dana said people have many parts to us. So every emotion trends are to, okay, I'm confused. People have many parts to us. So every emotion trends to our many. Okay, you have to retype it, baby. You've had that moment. Some of y'all know, like I shared with you, I had that moment when school started back on August 8th, right? So I'm dropping my kid off to school, and I reached to hurry up and grab my phone to take her picture from the first day of school. And I didn't do it. I stopped myself because my first instinct was take her picture and send it to mama. And it clicked. It was that realization, girl, you ain't got no mama. And so I drove my pitiful butt back home, trying not to cry so I could see on the road while I'm driving. But it was that moment of, oh man. Right, Ashley, you say you experienced the other day, it makes you cry like a little girl that I can't pick up that phone and call. It's tough. It's some tough stuff. Kids said I did. There was a phone that rang off with the same ringtone I used for my mom. I thought it was my phone and went to answer, and I remembered that she is gone. That's what I'm telling you. There is no final step. And I feel like these quote unquote scholars, they write this stuff out about these steps and the final steps and all that. It's very irresponsible and it's dangerous. Very irresponsible, and it's dangerous. Dana says human nature has many parts. I feel you. I got you, girl. I got lost because I know sometimes the keys can get away from you. Deandra saying, I think Jesus felt all these emotions as he went to the cross. I mean, yeah, but this ain't about that today, sis. I feel you though. Nisi said, good afternoon. Just finished washing my hair, listening in. All right. I'm glad you made it. So dig now. Dig. What happens with energy? Lala hit the nail on the head. Energy is never destroyed. It is only transferred. That is the law of energy. I promise it is. That is the law of energy. Energy is never destroyed. It is only transferred. So one thing that we know that happens with energy is that, not with energy, but with grief. Grief creates new energy. Where is the clipboards? I ain't seen no clipboards in the chat. Where are the clipboards? I see no clipboards in the chat. I don't see them. Where they at? There we go. There goes some clipboards. Okay. All right. There they go. Because we you know how we do. We gotta put these things in order. One, grief creates new energy. Now, once we get the new energy, we decide what that energy does. We, the people who are going through it. Sherry, what's up, boo? I know that's right. We, the people who are going through the grief, who are going through those feelings, we decide what we do with that energy, whether it becomes positive and creative, whether it becomes negative and destructive. It is all up to you. The initial feelings of that energy being born, that grief being born, it feels bad. But hey, Vita from Denver, everything that feels bad is not necessarily negative. It can only become negative or become positive with intentionality or the lack of intentionality. If you intentionally make it into something positive, then it will be something positive. Or there are people who intentionally make it into something negative, or a lack of intentionality whereby you don't take control over it at all. It just happens the way it happens based on your natural personality. Hey, Nacho Twins mama, that's up to you. Because if you naturally have a self-destructive personality and you take no control over this brand new energy that's there, what do you think is going to happen with it? It's going to become self-destructive. If you naturally have an addictive personality and you take no control over it, you put no intention over it as to what you're going to do with it, it's going to lead you into more addictive behaviors. It just stands to reason. You control the energy that you expel. So once you got this new energy, it's up to you to either be intentional or to let it just be haphazard and have no intentionality whatsoever. So when I start talking about, okay, let's be positive or channel it into something positive. Take this new energy that's been created, because make no mistake, it's never going away. That's why I keep pointing out, hey, Queena. That's why I keep pointing out that there is no final step. Like, stop fooling yourself. There's no final step. Hey, Sharon Fauna, what's up, sis? There isn't one. There isn't one. As long as you have memory, there will never, ever be a final step. It's up to you what you do with it. Okay. What you mean, Nitra? Let me explain. Now that grief has created this new energy. Hey, Sin City from NOLA. I'm glad you're here, girl. Now that grief has created this new energy in your life, and you got to figure out what to do with it. What to do with this new energy, because it's there. It's taking up a very real space. You know it's there. You can never forget that it's there. It's like an ugly shiffer robe in the middle of your bedroom. And no matter what you do, you can't ignore it. It's sitting right there. It's heavy. It's made out of good wood. And you can decide either to leave it there and try to be the dunce who pretends you don't see it and walk around it, and you're decorating around it and pretending that it's not there. And so, because you don't take control of it, it can end up housing spiders and spider webs and dust. It can become a cubby hole for dust that affects your allergies. It can just become something, an eyesore in your life, and something that brings you nothing but grief, more misery. Or, hey, Tasha Rain, what's up, boo? Yeah, that's all I'm saying. And so, or you can say, hey, I didn't want this thing here. I didn't ask for this thing to be here. But guess what? I'm gonna put it in this corner. I'm gonna go get my Scott, not my Scots. I'm gonna go get my pledge. I'm gonna clean it up with lemon pledge. I'm gonna put flowers on it. I'm gonna use it to hold all kind of books. Or I'm gonna use it to hold crystals. I'm gonna use it to hold knickknacks. I'm gonna put it here, and I'm gonna put all my favorite clothing in it. You find something positive to do with it. Once it's been created, it exists, it's not going away. What do you do with it? Find out what to do with this new energy. And let's start looking at it as what it is, energy. Okay. I should see clipboards, because this is stuff I want y'all to start keeping track of for yourself. Okay. Lala say grief is like an ugly ottoman. Someone moved into your house without your permission, and you can't get rid of it, but you can reconstruct it. That's a good way to look at it. If you see it, and y'all know visualization is the bomb. So if you visualize it as an ugly ottoman and you want to, reupholster it, boom. You can also choose to see it as just an ottoman. It's not ugly, it's not pretty. It's waiting on you to decorate it or leave it to be as ugly as it wants to be on its own. It's up to you. So you got to ask yourself, what do I do with this energy? And I'm just going to tell you what I found to be the most helpful for me. What's been the most helpful for me is channeling that new energy that clearly is not going anywhere into your natural talents. Sounds crazy, right? I ain't tripping though. Like, look, introspectively, look inside yourself and figure out, what do I naturally do well? No, really. Ask yourself, what is it that you naturally do well? What do you naturally do well? Put some of these things in the chat. We're finna talk about it, because everybody has grieved or is grieving over something. Everybody, I don't care who you are. Put in the chat something that you just are naturally good at, things that your family expects you to do, things that you do and you don't have any type of modesty over. Like, I know I'm good at XYZ. Put it in the chat, because we're going to dig into it. Put it in the chat. What are y'all good at? All right, there we go. Nisi says she's good at decorating and writing. Okay, Sin City from NOLA, you're good at comforting people. Okay, hey, Maren Reeves, how you doing? Queen Mermaid says she's good at organizing, and she is. And is. Let's see, writing and music. Okay, Nacho Twins mama, she says she good at cooking. All right. Cooking and advice. Okay. Writing. All right. Printing. You good at words. Okay. Miss Sparkle says she's good at cooking. Alita say naturally good at developing relationships. Okay. So now let's look at what we got. Okay. It's like this is that moment of turning out your pockets. Remember, we was little kids. Some of y'all that's old enough, you know the crew that used to play outside. Because I know the two children, not the two children, but the new children, they didn't play outside like that. So, us old school. Remember, we used to play outside, and you come in at the end of the night and you turn out your pockets. I always had a rock, some other stuff in my pocket. I knew if I had a lizard or something in my pocket to throw that away before I came inside, because my mama would have, killed me and the lizard. However, y'all remember that moment of turning out your pockets? This is a turn out your pockets moment. So it's like, okay, now that you done turned out your pockets, we're looking at what we got. We're looking at what we got. All right. Yeah, you're playing out the dough. You turn out your pockets. So now y'all turned out your pockets. Some of you got cooking in your pocket. Some of you got decorating in your pocket. Some of you have socializing. Hey, SFF, what's up, boo? All those things. This is what's in your pocket. It's up to us at a time to be intentional. And this is where intentionality comes into play. This is where it comes into play. We have to intentionally take that energy and put it into those things that we do well naturally. Don't go trying to cultivate something new, because then you're trying to create new energy when you got some energy already in your space that you don't know what to do with. It's making you uncomfortable. It's making you unhappy. It's making you feel like you're an emotional wreck. All of those things. So we have to intentionally channel that energy into those things that we naturally already have in our wheelhouse. The things that are already there. Don't go dragging in nothing new. Take the things that are already there. And likely, let me just say this. It's likely that you already ain't even using the stuff that's sitting in your pocket. It's a lot of you that cook well, that write well, that decorate well, and you don't use it very much. You pull it out of your pocket every now and then, do a little something with it, let people know you have it, and you put it right back in your pocket. Is that not true? Isn't it true? Those things that we do well naturally, it's almost like we don't even respect it, or we don't worry about it. We're not interested in it too much. And I feel like that's because how do I put it? We undervalue it and we take it for granted because we didn't have to struggle to learn it. We didn't have to pay attention to anybody to get it. It's just sitting there. It's unused. So take those things that you do well naturally, that you take for granted, and channel that energy into those things rather than allowing that energy to eat you alive. I see Jackie and Queen Mermaid grab them clipboards. So y'all got it. Channel this new energy into those things that you naturally do well. It's true. Kids said, I'm guilty. My artwork, writing, fashion design, I haven't been perfecting my craft like I'm supposed to. Oh, I know, because we all do it. You're not alone. Use what's there. There's so much that's already in your wheelhouse, that's already in your gray matter, that literally it's just taking up space in your head. It's taking up space in your head. It's taking up space in your psyche, in your life. It's just sitting there. It's something that you know you do well, but you're not using. When that grief, that new energy is born, and we understand the law of energy, and that energy is never destroyed, it's only transferred, what will you do? What will you do? You need to intentionally channel it into what you can do. When I say that, what do I mean? I mean, I don't care if you take it and turn it into another stream of income. I don't care if you take it and just begin to create things. If you say you're good at building relationships, I think that's what I saw Alita say, then take it, use it, and build relationships. Step out, meet new people, introduce them to things. If you're good at building relationships, what business does building relationships help with? It helps with sales. It helps with lots of things. And when you can build relationships, so many people are socially awkward. But if you're not, then channel that energy into that. Allow it to create something. Intentionally use it to create something. Even if it's just to create new good energy for other people. Use it to create something. Energy is best used when it creates new things. Because if you do not intentionally use it to create, out of just being unintentional, it's going to destroy things. So it still goes back to choice and you having control. It goes back to choice and you having control. There you go. That's your strength. Volunteer, help people, because you're good at building those relationships. Period. I like to create things. I'm an artist. I write. I make things. I make clothing. I make jewelry. I make people beautiful. I cook. All of those things. I channel the energy into that. Like some of you know, some of you don't. I started back making jewelry and making bracelets. And so what did I do? Because I was grieving over mama, I called them my Emma bracelets. I named them after her. I created them. And it wasn't for one thing or the other. It was just to create them. It was just, I needed to create. I needed something beautiful to come out of that new energy. I teach, I write well. So it's like, okay, let's take it and put it into that. What I'm saying is, the larger the feeling of grief, the more overwhelming that feeling of grief is, you may have to take that energy and put it into several different things until you feel like there's none left to put out, until you run out of it. If you don't run out of it, just continue to put it into more projects, into more creation, until it is exhausted. And so, as you know, in the end, we have to look at, what does that do for us? What does that do for us? What I think it does, and these are just my thoughts because I ain't no authority on nothing. I'm just somebody who's been through it, right? What I think it does for us, it allows the grief and the losses that we incur and suffer to add to our experience, add to our human experience, and add to who we become. Because who you are when you first leave your mama's house is not who you're going to be at the end of your journey. All the way, at every step along that path, we're picking up new experiences and we're becoming someone new. We're becoming a new person every day. So it's like when we go through these losses, we can either choose that they're going to add to our lives, they're going to add to our experience, they're going to add a new and meaningful chapter, or these moments, these losses, this grief, they're really just going to be moments where we lose. It is going to be turning points in our lives where we see our destruction. It's going to be, okay, this is the moment where the protagonist of our story, fails. This is where she falls. This is where she doesn't get up again. It's all a matter of choice. It's all a matter of choice. And it's like, so what are you going to do? What are you going to do? As they used to say, barbecue or mildew. What you going to do? I know I had to figure out for me what I was going to do. What you going to do? Are you going to sit there and allow it to eat you up, not take control of it, not harness it, not channel it, and just let it like eat holes in your life? Take you into places where you don't want to be, take you back into dark places where, and when I say dark places, what I mean by that is a lot of times when we go through grief and loss, if we do not take control and harness it and channel it in a very intentional way, what ends up happening is it will end up taking us back into parts of our life where we don't want to be anymore. You find yourself like you ain't cursed in years. Now you find yourself cussing like a sailor. You stopped drinking over 10 years ago. Now you over here buying bottles of Jack Daniels. You been stopped getting in fights. Now you at the grocery store about to slap the hell out of Miss Millie from The Color Purple. Like those feelings, that new energy, because it's so strong, it's so poignant, it attaches to your emotions, and anything that attaches to your emotion has the power to manipulate and manifest things in your life and around you. So it's like if you don't do something with it, it's going to start to manifest things on its own. And you got to ask yourself in real life, do you really want to go back to those things that you finally got deliverance from? Do you really want to go back to being a terrible person? I mean, because most of us at some point were terrible people. Like, if we're going to be completely honest, I'm just saying, do we really want to go back to that? Or do you want to take control of it? Like, it's all about choice. Lala said, when I was younger, I viewed grief as a monster that visits you ever so often. Now that I'm a little older, I view it as the natural order of things. I'm learning to process emotions better, as you should. But now let me throw you a curveball. It might be a curveball for some of y'all. It might be straight. Is it then too far-fetched to believe that the losses that we incur and experience are necessary for our growth and for us to be pushed to the next dispensation? Is it possible? Excuse me, I had to cough. But that's the question. Is it possible? Do y'all think it's possible? Is it possible that we have to experience these losses? We have to lose things. We have to lose people. We have to lose situations in order for us to grow and become the final product. So y'all saying absolutely. Ashley says, I think everything happens for a reason. Cece says, yep. So, okay. So then we start looking at it from that side. Because this is the way I see it. There's an end product that we're supposed to be. There's an end product. I don't know what that means, Dana. Best I say, I found the loss of loved ones to have lifelong impact, so I have to address them all the time. But this is what I'm saying. My theory, the way I'm viewing it, right? I feel as though, hold on, Lala says, they definitely necessary. Every type of grief I've experienced has transformed me in a way and pushed me further towards my purpose. I'm old enough to understand that now. Jackie says it opens our eyes to things we weren't paying attention to before. And Kia says, yes, I went through traumatic breakup 3 years before my mother passed. God got me over the heartbreak to prepare me for the biggest heartbreak, which was losing my mom. Okay, I feel all that. Now dig where I'm coming from, right? It's just a theory. Y'all know it don't mean nothing outside of my head. It's just what I think. I feel like I know that our Creator writes our story before we're born. Before we were gleaming our daddy's eye, he wrote our story. And before we ever took our first breath, screamed, pissed, or pamper, The end of our story was already written. There's somebody that you're supposed to become at the end of your story. And so basically where we are right now, we're living the backstory. It's like every superhero has a backstory. Y'all know that, right? Incredible Hulk, he was a scientist. The gamma radiation got him. Peter Parker was just a little kid. He's minding his business. He got bit by a radioactive spider. Clark Kent, his parents was from, where was they from again? Pluton? No, Krypton. They was from Krypton. And the place, blew up, and they put him in a pod, and he landed over here. Batman's parents got jacked and killed in an alley, and he became, the Dark Knight. So every superhero has a backstory. And so I think that the person we're supposed to become, the final product, the one that's ready for Zion, the one that's actually going to get to step on golden streets, that character has a backstory. And it's like we're living the backstory now. I know it sounds crazy, but y'all follow me on this one. I promise it's going to make a little bit of sense, I think. We're living in the backstory. And so there are certain pivotal moments that have to happen, certain losses we have to incur in order for us to take that new energy, because it's like all of those new energies have to enter the story of our hero or heroine in our story in order for them to build up, to elevate, to evolve into this final product, into the final product. And the way I see it, the way I choose to view it. Hey, Vanessa. And the way I choose to view it is, okay, again, y'all know me. I can only talk about me because I don't know your story. I can talk about me. It's like, okay, started off this little girl, started off with a weird story. Born almost a month late, 11 pounds, 4 ounces, breech and facing backwards. This kid came in weird. It came out crazy. Last kid out of 5, this kid wasn't necessarily wanted. The mama didn't want to have no more babies. The daddy loved this kid to death. The mama loved the kid, but she was already, had this feeling like, look, I didn't want no more babies. The child started off one way, but the original product, if that entity, if you pull yourself out of your own story and just watch it play out, if I pull myself out of my story and just watch it play out, that original product, that original person that started off the story could not have survived certain things had she not gone through certain things. Does that make sense? It's like that original person, there's no way that original person would just be the final product. There's some things that had to happen along the way to make that person into the final product. So it's like, okay, there were losses that had to happen. In order for it to work, that character had to lose grandparents. She had to lose friends. She had to lose her innocence. She had to lose naivety. She had to lose parents. She had to lose uncles, aunties, cousins. She had to bury her sister. She had to cut off another sister. She had to walk away from family. And like Abraham did, had to go into a far country. So it's like it's a lot of losses. Those things that we call losses are sometimes maybe not what we think they are. I think sometimes those losses are just transitions. I think those losses are transitions. And I think losing those things, or those things being taken away so that we can transition into a different, more elevated form of ourselves, is the intention. I think that's the original intention. But what ends up happening in reality is that when we don't take it that way, and there's no understanding, there's no intentionality, the very thing that is intended to elevate you ends up, how do I put it? It ends up destroying you. It's like the very thing that's put there to build you can break you if you don't take charge of it, harness it, and channel it into your growth. Those natural abilities that you have Those are your building blocks. Those are the things that you were originally given to help your main character become her star player. But along the line, you become distracted. You become interested in other things. You basically start abandoning your natural gifts for other things because you see other things make more money or other things will put you in the right social circles. Am I making sense? CC gave me a couple of bullseyes, so maybe CC feel me. I don't know if nobody else feel me, but I know my sis feels me. And we got to consider that. Those original gifts that you were given. Okay, so let's go back to the superheroes, right? Alita, you feel me? Okay, if we go back to the superheroes, Clark Kent came with what? Not Clark, Superman, because Clark Kent is the alter ego. Superman showed up with some natural abilities. I'm making sense, Jackie? Okay, because I want y'all to feel me on something. Okay, I'm taking you down the road. Y'all know I'm good for taking you down the road if you'll ride with me. Superman showed up with natural abilities. Y'all write down what the natural abilities that Superman showed up with. Write them in the chat. Write them in the chat. So this dude could run real fast. So he was faster than a speeding bullet. He's super strong. What else Superman could do? All the stuff Superman could do. These were his natural abilities. Come on, y'all. Interact with me. Because I want to show you something. I promise you, I'm not just crazy. Right, Nacho Twins mama. He could fly. Jackie had real good eyesight. He could see everything. Nacho Twins mama say he had laser eyes. Bingo. What else we got? What else we got? He was impervious to bullets, right? They couldn't shoot him. It didn't work. Hey, Egypt. What else? Dude could bend stuff. He was real strong. He could just bend stuff. Yep, climb stuff. Right, la. That's all right, Ashley. It's okay. Hey, Rochelle. So we got enough there to talk about it, right? Now, let's just say Superman did what we do a lot of times. If he took all his natural abilities, put them in his pocket, ignored them, and said, well, I mean, I could make more money if I learn how to do computer programming. Okay, I know that sounds dumb. I had to laugh at myself, right? But you know what? That's how dumb we are too. When we take the things that we're naturally given, when we first land on this planet, you are given natural abilities. And there's always a point in our hero or heroine story where they realize their abilities. Like when they're first born, they don't know they got it. Or like when Peter Parker first got bit by the spider, he didn't know he had no abilities at first. There's always a moment when you realize you have the ability. So it's like, okay, when you first showed up here, bam, your mama pushed, the doctor said it's a girl. You here. You didn't know you had no abilities yet. But there was a point when you realized you had the ability. But how ridiculous is it that we will find out that we have these natural abilities and we're excited about them when we first see them, and we'll let somebody in our lives tell us, you can't do nothing with that. You ain't gonna make no money with that. Put that stupid stuff down and come over here and do. And that's what we do. You tuck your natural abilities, your superpowers, in your pocket. You tuck them in your pocket, and you go about trying to learn what other people naturally do well. You go about and tuck them in your pocket, and you try to figure out how to do what somebody else told you will make you some money. Or whatever you heard that other people feel like is more respectable, more acceptable, yada, 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 yada. But the truth of the matter is, your original natural gifts are your superpower. What if, right, it never ends well when you abandon your natural abilities? It doesn't. What if these losses, this grief that we go through, that adds things to our lives, is there for you to channel into those natural abilities to power them up so you can get back on track and be who you were meant to be, not who people told you to be. How would we know? Think about it. CC say you realize life is short and you need to focus on what you're here for. My tolerance level for foolishness was already short, but now it's almost non-existent. Right. I feel you. I'm at the same place. Kia said that's what happened to me with fashion design. My family told me black people don't do well in that. I listened and took up psychology. I regret it. You took your superpowers and learned psychology. Every time you consider that, think about if Superman said, I'm not doing none of this stuff. I'm finna go to school for horticulture. It just sounds ridiculous. I'm sorry. Every time I say something like it just sounds ridiculous because we do it. Darn it, I did it. Say some stuff just don't deserve your time or energy. It doesn't. It doesn't. That's what I'm saying. Like when it comes to this grief of a thing, let's stop looking at it as the boogeyman. Let's stop looking at it as a monster in the closet. Let's stop looking at it as something negative that we need to avoid and run from. Instead, let's look at it as what it is. It is new energy that has entered your life. Harness it, channel it. Grab those old dead things in your pocket. When near dead, they ain't dead till you dead. But grab those old things with weak batteries, harness it, channel it to those things, and see what happens next. That's right. All things do work together, even grief. It's all for a reason. Okay, let me dig deeper. Let me go from the biblical side, because I know some of y'all can feel me when I go to that side. So let's go to Isaiah. In the book of Isaiah, it's so funny because the chapter 6, I believe, that was the chapter, that was the passage of scripture that I received my call on. In the year that King Uzziah died, I also saw the Lord. Isaiah loved King Uzziah. So it's so crazy that in order for Isaiah to receive the call, to see the vision of the Lord's train in the temple and the seraphims and the coal from the altar cleaning his mouth, Uzziah had to die. There were some things that you have to lose things in order to open up different corridors in your head, in your psyche. Grief is a metaphysical tool. While it is painful, growth is often painful. That's why they call it growing pains. It don't feel good. Okay, so let's look at some of our people in pop culture, shall we? Let's take a look. If you look at Patti LaBelle, when she talks about her story about how, her sister passing or whatever, she became somebody different. Like she was like ignited. Her energy changed. She became so much more explosive and she became the Patti that we all fell in love with after that loss. It's something about losing a thing. If you channel that energy into your natural abilities, it's like you get set. It's like you're being turned loose. You're being set on fire. But it's up to you how you do things. You can lay there and wallow in it, or you can take charge of it and channel it into something. It's all up to you. We're in control. Like God gave us way more control than we want to pretend we got. I think it's easier to pretend that you have no control whatsoever. So that way you don't have to take responsibility for the sad and sorry state that you find yourself in. Like, let's keep it real. You got a lot more control than you want to admit to. So many people, their story went from regular to phenomenal after a loss. And again, back to pop culture. It's happened so much so that we have people that'll go around and accuse people of pure witchcraft because they lost somebody. And then you saw them grow. And they say, oh, that means they're a witch. No, it means that they learned to channel that grief into what they naturally do well, and they exploded. And just like if it can happen for somebody else, it can happen for you. Natural law, metaphysical law, it applies to everybody, not just one person. Not just one person. So what am I saying? The whole summary of what we got from today. Let's look at it. Let's recap. We know that grief is a part of life. We know that grief cannot be avoided. We know that grief is a result of a loss of a person, a thing, a situation, or a circumstance. We know that there are negative feelings. Ashley, I allowed the comment, baby, but next time misspell the cuss word, okay? That's the only reason it was held up. But just put an $8 $. But I feel you. We know that grief has negative connotations and negative feelings associated with it, like pain, loss, sadness, hurt, depression. Y'all mentioned so many. What was it? Oh gosh, y'all gave me so many. But all of those things, all those negative things, and the unexpected, the unexpected things that come along. You're not wrong, baby. You all right. You didn't know. I should have said it. It's not your fault. It's my fault now. Blame me. Don't blame yourself. But the unexpected feelings or unexpected things that are associated with grief that we need to take in are new energy, new birth, creation. And sometimes that feeling of not knowing what to do with yourself. We talked about what we can do with it. And let me not leave out, you can still get counseling, you can still meditate, but more than anything, we focused on the fact that you can channel that brand new, strong, powerful energy into your natural talents. Okay? And we covered the fact that grief does create new energy. And we have the ability to either be intentional or unintentional with that energy. We talked about what we can do with that energy, and that is to channel it into those things that we naturally do well. That way, when you remember the person, thing, circumstance, situation that you've lost, you can also reflect on what you did with that energy. And it won't just be a loss. Hey, More Than Beauty. Oh, thank you. I'm glad that you listening to us while you're working. So let's just consider that. I'm gonna put the StreamYard here, whatever. If y'all want to contribute anything else to the conversation, other than that, I'm gonna just get a few more of y'all's comments, because you know when I'm running my mouth, sometimes I miss comments and I don't like to. Okay. Lala says, harness the energy of grief to move toward your purpose. Bingo. Bingo. Because you got to think about, okay, especially when we start talking about the people that we lose. And I hate the term lose. Like, we lose access to them on this side, but we didn't really lose them. Like, you'll never hear me say I lost my mama. I did not. When you lose something, you don't know where it is. I know exactly where my mama is. She's in heaven because she was saved. Ashley say, if I want to become a royal family member, how can I do so? Well, there's usually a join button directly beneath the video. Usually, yeah, there's usually a join button right under, like if you close your live chat and look underneath, you should be able to see the join button. I think. Yeah, it's there. Okay. Yeah, I think so. And then there's a link. Egypt, did you mean to time out Queen of Hearts KS? Mm-mm. Queen of Hearts, don't go nowhere. I think that was an accident. If you can hear me, Queen of Hearts, don't go nowhere, sis. That was an accident. It's just 300 seconds. Don't leave. Don't leave. I was trying to get the whole membership thing to put it in the chat. I don't know how to do it. That let y'all know I'm really not technologically savvy. I'm one of them people. It's almost like that would be like me getting rid of my all of my natural abilities and saying I'm gonna go into editing videos. Like I hope one of y'all catch a plane and come slap me on the back of my head because clearly I've lost my mind. Okay, it is in the description. Thank you. Okay, all right. But yeah, like we do it all the time. I did it. Kia, when you talk about design, like I got back into design later because when I initially wanted to do it, I was having to get my mama's old fabrics that she didn't want no more. And and I would sneak and sew in the in the middle of the night, no bull. I would sneak and sew in the middle of the night and make little stuff and try it on. And my sister sometimes would be like, "Oh, that's cute," but I knew not to show my mama. So I totally understand. Like it happens. We abandon things. I naturally wrote well, and it was like, life happened. It's like I gotta make money. I ain't got time to be writing stuff. I gotta go make money. And we not a lot of times we don't realize those things that seem insignificant to other people, those things that you naturally do well, that's your blessing. That is your blessing. So anyway, I put the link in the chat. Ain't nobody want to add nothing to the conversation. As usual, y'all always leave me a reading rainbow. um Hey, Auntie Eva. Yeah, you did. We done had the whole crown chat, girl. We finna go. Because I still got to get ready for Bible study later this afternoon. And then we'll try to go live again this evening where we can just be girls and sit around and gossip and have a good time. So we'll do that later this evening. Yesterday, I needed a break. And while I'm getting the last few comments, let me just tell you. So I needed a break yesterday. I really didn't feel that great. I had to go back by the store and help mom and pops get some stuff moved around in the back. And those of you who have been to the store out over here in Houston, y'all know what I'm talking about. It's a lot of stuff over there. It's a lot going on. So I was over there doing that yesterday, and I really didn't feel great, but it still had to get done. And I was finishing up making sure that the Bible study notes were online. We had got the dream journal online beforehand. And let me just encourage y'all, get your dream journals, please. Get them, please, so that you can be writing down what you saw. So that way, when we do go back in Patreon and we're having us another dream interpretation chat, that you don't show up and just like, well, I dreamed about an ear of corn, but you don't have no other details, and then I can't help you. Please, please, please get your dream journals. Keep track of what you saw. It is detailed and outlined to help you know what to record, what you need to actually keep track of. Okay? Lala, what you say? You say you the same way about your writing? Yeah, like don't abandon your natural ability. Don't do it. Alita say the shop, boy, do I miss it. You missed the shop already, Lita. It ain't been long enough. It has not been long enough for you to be talking about you missed the shop. I've been like, okay, and I've been up in the air too. I've been up in the air too on whether I'm gonna go live again from the shop and let everybody kind of shop with us, because y'all know I be tired, it gets hot, all those things. But I'm thinking about it. I might go live from the shop again. It's been a while since I went live from the shop, so everybody can kind of see what's going on in there. And it's a new shipment coming in shortly. So I don't know, part of me wants to wait so y'all can see everything, and then part of me is like, do I even want to do this? Because I'm gonna be so tired. As y'all know, last time I went live from the shop, I was melting. My big behind was melting. It was uncalled for how hot I was. But I'm still thinking about it. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. No promises, but we'll see. Nacho Twins mama say the shop live was so nice. Can't wait. Y'all had fun. I had fun hanging with y'all, but I was hot. Oh my God. You say maybe in the fall. Maybe if it cooled down a little bit. Vita, you remember? Girl, it was so hot in there. I melted. I was like, oh no, this is not it. This ain't it at all. And we had help back then. Like, we don't really have nobody to help now, like, in the shop. Because last time we had Randy in the shop and he was helping out, but he's had to, do other things. So we really don't have help like that. And so that means my big tail gonna have to be ripping and running. And y'all know, hey now, that might not go so well. Oh my gosh. You say the shop is wonderful. You got to come visit Houston so you can come and shop in person. We're still trying to work on this website situation. The pictures we took initially, like, we used some of them, but by the time we had everything uploaded, half the stuff was already sold. So that's been the other thing, is like trying to find a way to keep everything updated because it moves so quick. So that's crazy. Lord, Lita. So you still thinking about that last dress Papa showed me, the one that got away. Girl, stop thinking about that dress, all them dresses you got. Oh my gosh, I gotta call you because I got something for you too. Mm-hmm. I do. Just for me. But anyway, guys, I'm going to get up out of here because, like I said, we still have to have Bible study a little later. And I'm still going to try to come back live later so we can sit down and be girls and cackle and gossip a little bit and kiki and cut up and go on. So we'll be back for that. Queen will say, everyone have a blessed and wonderful Saturday. All right. You made it to work. Have a great shift, sis. Don't work too hard. All right. And don't let them people get on your nerves. So, Dig, let me get up out of here. I appreciate y'all so much, even though it was just one of our little crown chats, and this was very rare to have a Saturday crown chat. That has never happened. This is our first Saturday crown chat, actually. But, we'll incorporate them. Y'all know I had kind of fell back from it a little bit, or should I say a lot, because it was a lot of, let's just call it what it is, plagiarizing. And I felt like some of the messages or some of the things that I wanted to talk about, which were truly sincere, were being kind of taken, and I felt like it was some bad energy being attached to it, and I didn't want to be a part of that. Like, I didn't want to feed that type of energy at all. So I kind of fell back. But we'll come back, you know what I'm saying? And we'll still have our crown chats here and there. And I'm just glad to have this chat with you guys. I just felt like it. I felt like, just having a moment with my sisters today. And I appreciate y'all and I love y'all for it. Hey, One Nurse Courtney. Thank you so much. I didn't even know you was here, gorgeous. I'm glad you made it. But Dig, now y'all go ahead. Even though it was just our little crown chat and we had us a nice little moment, our own little safe space, I appreciate you so much. Y'all, please, 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 please hit the like button because it's free. Hit the notification bell because it's free. Make sure you click all. And also subscribe if you have not subscribed. We have fun over here. We always have a good time over here. We got our FNN news, the Florida Negro news during the week. We'll have a crown chat every now and then, talk about some real stuff. And we're going to kiki and gossip about them rich folks every now and then on this porch, okay? So please, please, please make sure that you subscribe. Join the family if you feel like it. But if not, make sure you subscribe. Turn that button red. Help us out with the algorithm. And those of you who want to join membership, please feel free to do that too. We have lots of good things. We're getting ready to crank up all of our virtual events for the year. We have our family meetings. We vote on everything as a family. So we would be happy to have you. So listen, I'm getting out of here. I got to finish up doing some work so we can be back for our other two, get-togethers the rest of the day. I appreciate you guys. I love you. And go ahead and finish up your chores for the day, all right? And as always, remember, I love you. God loves you. And ain't nothing in the world you can do about it. I will talk to you later in maybe a couple of hours. Give me a couple of hours and we'll start Bible study. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.